Ahmed's another case of somebody who shouldn't have been there. That guy was terrible, awful, but he was so massive and so big. I mean, but see, massive and big only translates to in real life. You say massive and big on TV, you don't see it that much. But if you were standing there with him, he was 270, 280, and was just a big guy.
You told me you or the office tried to get you to mentor him at one point.
One time, the night that the clique pulled their deal in Madison Square Garden, I was I went to mentoring him about a week or so earlier. But I'm thinking, there's really nothing for me to mentor him on because he's not a wrestler. I didn't tell them that, but he's a big guy. So, and he did all the big guy moves. He just didn't have timing, but I don't know how. I was trying to tell him timing, but to me, the guy's not going to get in any situation to where he needs to pull out the psychology card. I don't think. But, and I would tell him certain things and he'd just look at me and I'd say, you know what I'm talking about? And he'd go, yeah, man, yeah. And he didn't understand nothing.
Were you mentoring Ahmed Johnson during his feud with Goldust, and then Goldust kisses Ahmed Johnson, gives him the kiss of life, quote unquote, and
Yeah.
this is at King of the Ring '96. Do you remember his reaction
Not,
legitimately?
he was king of the ring. What month is that?
June.
I think I may have been there, but I wasn't mentoring him then.
So
Nothing.
this was about a few weeks after the Click hug, I think, because that was in May.
Well, they quit. Vince, he quit saying anything about it. So I figured, well, they don't care about it anymore. I mean, I could have kept going in there and saying, well, Vince, I think it's Ahmed's. I mean, he's ready to go. And then he'd go out there and shit the bed. So that would go my influence because it got dropped, I think, by nobody giving a shit.
Who did he hurt? Who did he hurt? Anyone that you know of that he hurt?
Well, I think he hurt Skip, I think, maybe. And he just, I don't even know where he came from. Where was he from?
Well, he came from Dallas, the Dallas territory. He was Tony Norris. You know, I think that was called Global. I
Yeah.
think he came from there.
Well, he didn't, nobody remembers him from Global. I mean, that was Global after World Class. And I don't know. And of course, he got in because he was so big. But I don't know what you could have done with him, really. You could have done something with it, maybe got a little bit of a run out of him. But, there's some people you look at, some wrestlers, some performers that you look at. If they don't grab you right off the bat, what can we do with this guy? Or something that's appealing about this person, they're not going to make it. And if their work is as bad as Ahmed's was, he had he could stand in one place. He could do that. But he couldn't. I never saw him throw a drop kick, arm drag, maybe one, twice. He could slam people all day long. That was good. He could do that. I think he was good at walking from the dressing room to the ring. And if you could have stopped the tape then and have him walk back from the ring to the dressing room, you may have had something with it. It was that time in the ring that was his drawback.
I wrote about him in the book I wrote about The Rock, and essentially he gets injured several times. One of them is a complete accident. He just comes back. I think he's part of the Nation of Domination, and he gets injured immediately, and then he comes back, and then in his first match back, his hand hits like an exposed nail on the announcer's table. So that tore up his hand, and that was him gone for another few weeks. And then I think just before he was fired for like the last time, in maybe about February '98, they found him passed out on a plane a few weeks earlier, and just the writing was on the wall for him. They turned him so many times. Then he kept getting injured. Then he kept getting injuring everybody else, and then they just They just cut him loose in the end. He wasn't worth the trouble.
Well, they should have done that. I could have told them that 3 years earlier because he's just a big guy. He couldn't talk for crapola. And if he did talk, you'd go, what? What did he say? And somebody says, I don't know. Turn it up or whatever. So you just couldn't understand what he was saying. So anyway, that was his problem, wasn't mine.